Alright, hey everyone, I have a video coming today about how to wash silk dupioni, that thing I can't pronounce. Dupioni? I know people have told me how to pronounce it. It's not the point of the video though. So, I got a question asked on my Instagram that I thought that would be a great video explanation. So, she said, how do you wash silk dupioni? Do you have to dry clean it? Can you wash it? And it's a several part answer, which is why I thought it would be a great as a video. You can obviously dry clean it, but you can also wash it. So what I did is I took 3 pieces of this fabric, cut it into 3 pieces. I've got one as my control, so this has not been washed, it has not been dry cleaned, it is just coming from Farmhouse Fabrics, who, if you're new to my channel, they supply all of my fabrics and supplies and whatnot. They are wonderful. I can't say nothing about them. Again, not the point of the video though. So this is my control. Then what I've got is I've got a piece that I hand washed and then I let air dry. I also have a piece that I machine washed, and I really like this fabric because and machine dried. So I chose this fabric because it's a plaid. That means that it's easy to see the size. If it shrinks, it's going to shrink if you're going to wash it, especially in the machine. If you do wash it in the machine, you're going to want to make sure to serge any of those raw edges. So I've got a selvage edge up here, which doesn't need to be serged, but any raw edges, you're going to want to run it through a serger because you will have a hot mess in that washer and dryer when you come back. And then I just, for both of them that I wash, just to keep things the same, as I both wash them using Drift. So, like I said, here's my control. If you compare this, now I didn't use any color catchers. I washed these by themselves, and I would say if you are washing some silk dupioni, especially if it's like red or if it's a bold color, I would say just wash it by itself, and then you don't have to worry about a color catcher. But I guess you can throw in a color catcher if you must wash with other things. I don't know. Silk dupioni, I'm sure there's people mispronouncing it. They're going to be like, ah! At any rate, so silk dupioni is like known for having this wonderful sheen, this very crispness to it, lots of body. It has that sound, that like ruffle, 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 like sort of sound, you know what I mean? But once you wash it, so let's compare the control to the machine wash. First off, it does shrink. So let's discuss that. It was 5.5 inches long before we started all of this. It has now shrunk to 5 1/8. Okay, which that's a lot. So 5.5 to 5 1/8 versus 2 7/8 and 2 3/4. So I'll do some math that shows you the comparisons of that, as far as what does that mean over a yard, what does that mean over 2 yards, what does that mean for 45 inches wide, what does that mean for 60 inches wide, because that is going to add up on you. The colors are a smidgen more vibrant on the controlled than on the machine washed. However, it's not bad. Like they're pretty comparable. I'm really trying to split hairs here. So I mean, even the topic is kind of saying you're a fabric snob. So basically, any of these choices are good. Do you know what I'm saying? And you're really at this point you're splitting hairs. The sheen, it's still there. Oddly enough. It's more on the one that has not been washed, but it's still there. Yeah, Henry, say it's still there. And then, though, I would say the biggest difference between the machine wash and the controlled is the body, like the hand of it, is that there's more body on the one that has not been machine washed versus this one just feels soft. Now, does it still stand? Do you want to stand? Does it still stand up, and does it still have, you know, you can still see like it's not just falling flat is what I'm trying to say. It still does have some volume to it. It just feels softer though than this one that has that crisp, not scratchiness to it, but it has that sound of silk dupioni, whereas this one is Alright, so now if we compare the hand washed and hand dried to the control, it also shrank, oddly enough, and I've always been told, I've always heard that it's the heat, and that makes a lot of sense. Now, oh, okay, I didn't mention my machine washing. I machine wash it on cold, and then I dried it using heat. So I've always been told that it was the heat of that process. Like, it wasn't necessarily machine washing it cold. You could machine wash it cold and then air dry it, and it wouldn't shrink. But this kind of begs to say otherwise, and I'm not sure if that's something that's unique to silk dupioni or not. But yeah, I hand washed it and let it air dry, and the sunker has shrunk. So how much of a difference are we talking? Well, let's measure it. We are at we are at 5 inches, so it actually shrunk more than the one that was machine dried, and we are at 2 7/8. So it didn't shrink that direction. Well, there's 2 7/8. That's really interesting. I will show you what that means for a yard and for 2 yards. It didn't shrink the other direction, so that we don't need to go over that. As far as colors go, the colors are, I would say, the same. And the sheen, there's a smidgen more of a sheen on the control than on the hand wash. But if we compare the hand wash to the machine wash, there's a smidgen more of a sheen on the hand wash than the machine wash. But the machine wash still has some sheen to it. Now, as far as body goes, let's compare the hand washed body, and that's still standing out quite a bit, to the, let's put a pleat in the machine washed. So they're still, both of them I think are still doing good. I think the machine wash maybe has a hair, no, they're about the same. And then as far as the softness goes, comparing the two hand washed and the machine washed, they're about the same. I can't feel a difference. So you can wash them. I think the moral of the story is you can wash them by machine, you can wash them by hand. In either case, do it before you make your garment, otherwise you will shrink a little bit. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. And say, as always, we appreciate y'all for watching, and we hope to catch y'all next time. Mwah.